Angry Cowboys fan wishes you all a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, Cowboys Nation.
How about them Cowboys? Angry Cowboys fan, born to battle. Hey, hey, start chest beats we never sell. America's team through thick and thin. Hey, hey, when the star shines bright, that's where we win. Angry Cowboys fan.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. And first and foremost, Cowboys Nation, I want to wish every single one of y'all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I know Cowboys Nation didn't get what it truly wanted for Christmas, but during these interviews on 105.3 The Fan, the ownership of the Dallas Cowboys have given us a different type of gift. That gift is accountability. On 105.3 The Fan's K&C masterpiece, Stephen Jones was on and they were asking him the right questions, Cowboys Nation. So we're going to take a listen to the 3 clips that I got for y'all, and y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to come back and unpack this raw and uncut. So, Angry Cowboys fans, let's take a listen to what the guys over on 105.3 The Fan's K&C masterpiece had to say.
What area do you think the organization underachieved the most?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, we've set out a goal every year to win our division and, get in the playoffs. And that's where we underachieved. We really felt like, we had a team, had players, especially down the home stretch, that we could get the job done. And, we came up short. And obviously, this year our offense had their moments where, we've really looked good, for the most part. But, hadn't been consistent, didn't protect the ball as well as we would have liked. If you look at it as a whole up and through, 15 games, I'd have to say that's where that is. Obviously, the big disappointment's been our defense. And, we just hadn't been able to, get an identity and do the things that we need to do to win football games, and consequently put a lot of pressure on the offense. But, and then on special teams, I'd say we're, adequate at best. We hadn't been able to get turf loose. So, just as a whole, we hadn't made the plays and done the things we need to do, to win the games it takes to win a division and get in the playoffs.
Okay, Cowboys Nation. Okay, Stephen Jones. Not only has Jerry Jones been doing a lot of reflecting, it sounds like Stephen Jones is doing the same reflecting, Cowboys Nation. He said that the biggest disappointment was the defense, and it put a lot of pressure on the offense to have to be perfect throughout the year. I'm telling you, Cowboys Nation, this is probably the most honest that I've heard each one of them be, but let's not get it twisted. Talk is cheap, Cowboys Nation. We'll see if they really show accountability when free agency in 2026 hits. But jumping into the second clip, they asked Stephen Jones if continuity carries a lot of weight for him. So we're going to take a listen to that, and then we're going to come back and talk about it. Go ahead, roll that clip.
How do you weigh continuity versus talent and coaching as this thing goes along? Does continuity carry a lot of weight for you?
I think it's a full body of work. You measure everything, and certainly that's what we'll do at the end of the year. We'll take a look at at everything, whether it's personnel, whether it's the coaching, whether it's continuity and what that would play going forward. Obviously, with 3 changes in 3 years and not having the type of results we've wanted the last couple of years, we've just got to take the full body of work in. We'll certainly do that when this season's over.
Let's go ahead and keep it a buck, Cowboys Nation. Continuity can be a gift, and continuity can also be a curse for this Dallas Cowboys team. I mean, I truly believe it was a gift by hiring Brian Schottenheimer. It allowed our offense to be top 5 in the league throughout the entire regular season. It's also allowed us to go into the 2026 season knowing that this offense will be okay. It was a curse because they thought the same thing would work on the defensive side of the ball while hiring Matt Eberflus. Well, we all know how that turned out, didn't we, Cowboys Nation? But let's go ahead and jump into the last clip so we can get into this raw and uncut.
But then you also have a bit of a hole in the next couple of rounds. Do you feel like you're going to need to go out and add some draft capital in order to fill the variety of needs on your defense that you need?
We'll just see how the draft falls. That's obviously, as we do our work and we start to work on our board and see where we think, some of the better parts of the draft are to be, then, you can certainly do some maneuvering around, if you want to move down in the first, obviously your most values are those first-round picks, and you can end up with a later first and a second and a third, or a later first and a second and fourth. I mean, there's a lot of ways to maneuver, and certainly as we start to strategize and get our board up and see what we think, we really need to do as we move forward, we'll certainly challenge ourselves to do everything we can to get our picks in the best spot, to get the best players we can to make us better.
Cowboys Nation, we do have an issue with this upcoming draft when it comes to the picks that we have this year. But let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit more, shall we? Y'all ready for this raw and uncut? Y'all ready? Let's get it. Get ready for the Angry Cowboys fans, raw and uncut.
Keeping it real, man. Keep it real. That's real.
All right, Cowboys Nation. Every Dallas Cowboys fan knows what the issue was for our Dallas Cowboys this year. If you're being real with yourself, you know that the defensive scheme didn't fit who we had for this team. We don't have enough draft capital to try and turn around the defense, so we're going to have to go into the 2026 season with a majority of the players that we had on the defense this year. As it stands right now, the Dallas Cowboys have 2 first-round picks, a 4th-round pick, 2 5th-round picks, and 2 7th-round picks. Other than the 2 first-round picks, any other picks will be depth pieces for this Dallas Cowboys team. It'll be project players for this Dallas Cowboys team. It's not every day that you're going to find a diamond in the rough in the 5th round. This means that the Dallas Cowboys front office is going to have to rely more on free agency to fill the roster spots that will be leaving this team during the 2026 offseason. Well, at least Stephen Jones is talking about trying to shop the other first-round pick around in order to try and get a couple more picks for that draft. But honestly, the way that they've been talking is like no other conversations that we've heard from before. I've never heard Jerry nor Stephen Jones accept responsibility and accountability for the team's failures that year. It's always been put on either the players or the coaching staff. Let's not get it twisted though, Cowboys Nation. He did put some of it on the defense, but he and Jerry Jones also acknowledged that they were responsible in hiring Matt Eberflus, which that's pretty wild to me, Cowboys Nation. But I won't sit up here and just say that things are going to change until I see evidence of things changing. The way they can do that is by extending George Pickens, extending Brandon Aubrey, and extending Javonte Williams. How you'll know that they haven't changed anything is if they hit free agency and they allow Javonte Williams to walk out the front door while bringing the bottom of the barrel type running back in, all because they feel Javonte Williams was a product of the Dallas Cowboys system, and they could make Jadon Blue as successful as Javonte Williams in 2026. That's that whole smart guy in the room type of mentality. But during this interview, they spoke about Trayvon Diggs as well. They spoke about Trayvon Diggs and how he was ready to get back on the field. Honestly, I feel that Trayvon Diggs has more left in the tank for this Dallas Cowboys team. I feel that Trayvon Diggs can be successful on this Dallas Cowboys defense. That's if Jerry and Stephen Jones move off Matt Eberflus. If they allow Brian Schottenheimer to be involved in the hiring process for the next defensive coordinator, and that coordinator being able to work with the talent that's on this team as opposed to forcing its scheme onto the people that it doesn't really fit for, I think we'll be in a better position. And speaking of Trayvon Diggs, I don't understand for the life of me why so many people want to just move off of Trayvon Diggs while giving leniency to a player like DeMarvion Overshown. When both players are healthy, they are dogs at their position. when they have a coach and scheme that helps them be more successful, then you want both of them out on the field for your team. Honestly, I would get rid of Matt Eberflus before I would consider getting rid of Trayvon Diggs. Also, to my fellow content creators, please refrain from reporting on rumors. I heard one of the nastiest rumors about Trayvon Diggs, and I will not repeat it because I don't know if it's true or not. All I know is what's being told and reported to Cowboys Nation, so I will trust this as the truth. Trayvon Diggs told Jane Slater that he was trying to install a pole-mounted TV and it hit him in the head. The only people that know if that's true or not are the ones that were in that household, Trayvon Diggs and God Almighty himself. Who am I to say, well, I don't know, it kind of sounds fishy to me? Who am I to continue a rumor that I have no idea is true or not? So just like DeMarvion Overshown after 2 season-ending injuries, I'm going to have faith that Trayvon Diggs can and will bounce back from his 2 season-ending injuries and become an asset to this Dallas Cowboys team once again. If Jerry and Stephen Jones decide to move on from Trayvon Diggs, I'm still not reporting on the rumor, and I wish him the best moving forward. I just can't believe that some will report on something that they heard from the grapevine, Cowboys Nation. Everyone who rocks with this channel knows that I am not an ambulance chaser by any means. That I'm not the one who's going to report on a player's personal life. This channel talks about football and football only. I wish a player a happy birthday or congratulate them when they have a child or something, but to report on extracurricular activities and not be 100% sure, I believe that's just wrong, Cowboys Nation. But anyway, I also got to give my props to 105.3 The Fan for asking Jerry and Stephen Jones the tough questions. The questions about Matt Eberflus. The questions about who was at fault for this season. They could have just gave Jerry and Stephen Jones softball questions like they have in the past, but they didn't, and I tip my hat to them for it. But Cowboys Nation deserves to know the truth as to how they feel about the collapse this season of this Dallas Cowboys team, and it's refreshing to hear Jerry and Stephen Jones being so candid about everything. But like I said earlier, Cowboys Nation, this doesn't mean that I believe every single word that they're saying. They're going to have to show me better than they can tell me. They're going to have to be in the office on the first day of free agency instead of being out on that damn yacht. They're going to have to give Brian Schottenheimer more authority, more autonomy over player personnel in order for me to trust them again. So let's see how the rest of this season shakes out, Cowboys Nation. Let's see how Jerry and Stephen Jones approaches the Matt Eberflus situation before I say they've done any type of changing. Actions speak louder than words, and quite frankly, Cowboys Nation is sick and tired of hearing the word salad. We want action, and it all starts with their actions involving the defensive coordinator position. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. Cowboys Nation, what do you feel about what I had to say in this video? Do you believe that Jerry and Stephen Jones have had an epiphany and now realize that it might just be them as to why this Dallas Cowboys team has been underachieving for decades? Y'all know how we do. We always talk about it in the comments section. If you're digging this content and you want to help get it out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans, drop a like on this video, share the content with anybody that you know is a Dallas Cowboys fan, and if you're on your mobile device, make sure you hype this video. Doing so will help bring more attention to the Angry Cowboys Fan YouTube channel. We will get more Dallas Cowboys fans over here, and we can root on our Dallas Cowboys for the future. And if you are DC for life and you just want this season to be over so we can get in the next season in free agency, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release another video, podcast episode, or film breakdown. You can also catch the Madden 26 and College Football 26 gameplay over on the new channel, the Angry Cowboys Fan Gaming channel. Make sure you head on over. I'll put the link in the description. Hit that subscribe button. But like I said before, Cowboys Nation, you need to have a Super Bowl caliber organization in order to have Super Bowl aspirations and Super Bowl caliber results. You can't just rely on the talent on the field to get you there, Cowboys Nation. It starts from the top and it comes down. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan Podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.